Shalom, shalom. Hi, Rob Tawab La Atham, Za'akikam Yawan Man Rachagadar Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham Atham Kaya, Ha Malakwat Hashamayim Kwa Ra, repent ye for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Kwa Halayim La La Abanawa Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua Bahasham, Rachahakwadash, Wa Mashana La Zakoyim Nawa Wa Malaakim Shor Rachagadar, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, in the name Yahweh Shai, he delivers in double honor to those and apostles of great millstone. All right, so another edition of Hadabar Shal Hayawam, which is the word of the day, and it's going to Yad, all right, which chiefly is the hand of the Most High, or the hand of the powers. All right, and I just want to go into some information here. All right, Adamar Tazah Zabanayapa Baharocha. Lord's will, this is a beautiful edification through the Spirit. All right, and let me see. I start. Salakalaya, give me a second. All right, it says the ancient Hebrew letter Yad is a picture of an extended arm with a hand reaching out doing work with their implied power. Thus, this letter Yad picture matches the revealed description of the Most High very well. And it says, I'm going to skip down. It says, if we are ready, we will get into more of this letter in our study using the following outline of topics. Introduction to the letter Yad. Yad is number 10 because if you look at both of your hands, which hand Baha Ibaryat in Hebrew would be Yad. All right. And you have 5 fingers on each hand, and you got 2 hands, and both of the fingers, or you have 10 fingers on both hands together. That's why it goes into number 10. And it says essential Yad words and basic concepts. It says hand of the Most High, which it pretty much goes into the power of the Most High, or the power of the powers, the Alahayim. It says Yad, hand of the Alahayim in creation. And then it says, which number 6, that should be after the mouth of the Most High pronounces something, the hand works. All right. So after something is prophesied, all right, the Lord brings it to pass, i.e. this is Barashi, the Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, and the powers said, let there be light, and there was light. So the mouth said, let this be done, and it was done. It was created, and you create with your hands. All right. So continuing on, it says, we are learning now about the ancient Hebrew letter Yad, and which it's a letter, and it also goes into the word Yad. The letter will be Yah. It says, and the primary meanings and applications to knowing the Most High, as you can see from the picture of the letter above. The very literal meaning of this letter pictograph is the extended open hand. A hand is designed for grabbing, taking, gathering, picking, working, and holding things. Therefore, this letter represents creative works, planting and harvesting, agricultural labor, actions performed to fulfill plans, in which, when we read Genesis chapter 1, all right, it says, and the power said, let there be light. All right, verse 6, it says, and the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of heaven, and let it divide the waters from the waters. All right. And you skip down to verse 7, it says, and the Alahayim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. It was done. It was done with the hands and the Spirit. And it says another one, verse 9, it says, and the power said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. So when the Lord, or when the power said, something was done, or something was essentially said to be done, all right, it was done. It wasn't just spoken. All right. This is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 11. It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the Lord doesn't waste words. All right, so we are a image of the Lord on a lower level. So we should be the same way. This is Bon Sirach chapter 5, and we'll get verse 10. It says, "Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same." You want your word to stand. You want it to be firm. All right, you essentially want to do the things that you said that you were going to do. Because then that's a way of on a smaller level. All right, the words that we say, it wouldn't be returning void. It wouldn't be meaningless. All right, and then it also shows that you keep your word. All right, this is back into that article, which I'm skipping around. All right, and it says when you actually build the word in Hebrew, Bahai Baryat, it says, "Let us quickly analyze the spelling of the word yad." This word begins with the letter yad, meaning hand, and ends with the letter dalath, meaning a door. But here is where we need to see the applied application for a door to understand the more complete meaning. A door allows movement out of the walls that keeps what is outside or keeps enclosed what is on the inside. Therefore, the combined meaning of these two letters represents the moving hand, or the hand that moves. Thus, this applies a figurative symbolic meaning to the word as someone that moves their hands for positive actions to throw, work, correct, plant, make, create, invent, save, heal, etc. All right. Which all of those actions are done with the hands. And here it shows the example of the two hands, and it's equal to 10 because you build with both of your hands, you see, but then you also have 10 fingers on each hand. All right. Which this has good information in this specific article, you see, but eat the meat, spit out the bones. All right, that's why I'm grabbing a few of the excerpts in here. Salat. All right, right here it says, Yada, give praise, give thanks. All right, all of these are done in the spirit by actually, using your hands. That's why the word Dawada comes from Yada, which is done with the hands. All right, then right here it says Salat. It says, for example, I'm going to start from right here. It says, "It is very interesting how the Most High teaches us about his works using physical feature descriptions that possibly help us to learn about how much power was used to accomplish a specific named work. We just saw one example of this work and power analogy being described as the hand of the Lord and Joshua in dividing the Red Sea. Hopefully, this is already a familiar subject to us all. For example, the Yad is a picture of the entire extended arm, including hand and fingers. Each of these named components displayed represent an increasing or decreasing amount of power that can be used by the powers to accomplish a specific goal. Or it says, for example, someone's little finger cannot do as much work as one of their larger fingers, so like larger and stronger fingers, like the index finger. But also, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, and all the fingers combined with the thumb can do more as increasing numbers are joined in unison. You see? So the whole hand works All right, two, or all the fingers work together to represent power. You see, and it says these all working together provide more strength and power and can do so much more together. This is an excellent time to understand again, which they're pretty much trying to put the Lord in a box. You see, but as we'll see in the scriptures and with understanding is that with specific examples, like I'll get right here. This is Shamwath, Exodus chapter 8 and verse 19. And it says, then verse 18, it says, and the magicians did so. Verse 17, verse 16, it says, the plague of insects. And the Lord said unto Mashah, say unto Aharon, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Matazarium. And they did so, for Aharon stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the earth, so like all the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Matazarium. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of the Most High. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. I'm gonna get this in another version, because that article pretty much was pretty much trying to put a cap on the Lord's power, you see. But this is a better way to paraphrase what they pretty much a better way to pretty much go into the hand. All right, so this is verse 19, and it says, this is the finger of the Most High. It says, when the magician said to this slot, when the magician said this to Pharaoh, it showed they knew there was power greater than their own, yet it was a power that they did not honor and serve. So essentially, they knew it was more. The Lord was just only sending a warning. You know, it was a small display of power. You know, so pretty much going into where it says 2, 3, 4 fingers. Well, the Lord can give a small dose of that power, or he can turn it all the way up if he wanted to. You know, which I believe they're gonna touch on it in this article as well. But it says these all working together provide more strength and power and can do so much more together. This is an excellent time to understand again that the number value of Yod is 10. How many fingers does a normal human have? Yes, it is still 10. It says this is not a coincidence that the Most High ordered this letter at this position in the alphabet. Everything in the written word is intelligently designed this way. All right. So I'm going to skip down. It says, in the third plague of the Most High upon Matazariam, the Lord causes lice to manifest upon man and beast. The Egyptians called this work the finger of the Most High. This means they believed this plague was to be only a very small and minor thing for the Most High to do to them. It was just like the Lord cracking his knuckles. You know, it was the Lord can do way more than that. And that's pretty much going. That's what the finger of the Most High in that specific verse went into. You know, it was just a small display of power. You know, it says, but it implies about the power of Mashah. If he could do this, he has a lot more power that could do an extraordinary amount of other work from his unused greater power. In other words, this was a warning message to Pharaoh that this was a little power display of the Most High, and we have not seen the worst yet. The Lord can turn it all the way up, you know. All right, so I'm going to get a couple more precepts. This is Shamwath, Exodus, chapter 14. We'll get verse 21, and it says, and Mashah stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. I'm going to get this in the NLT, and it says, then Mashah raised his hand over the sea, and the Lord opened up a path through the water with a strong east wind. The wind blew all that night, turning the seabed into dry land. All right, NIV. Then Mashah stretched out his hand over the sea. You know, that's a example of the hand, you know, working. All right, you work with your hands, or you display power with your hands, you know, which that was an example of, you know, the Lord showing his power through through Mashah Moses. All right. So I'm gonna get this. This is Mashah, Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 21. You see, because it's power in your hand, and it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof." I'm gonna run it back. Proverbs 18 and 1. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. All right, but this word right here for power, it ultimately goes into yad. It says bayad, which yad is the hand. It says hand, strength, power. You see, so death and life are in the power of the tongue. You see, so right here, the mouth is likened to a hand. You see, and that's why they say, hey, use your verbal judo. You know, judo is something, a fighting art. You know, you fight with your hands. You see, so one could speak life, all right, and ultimately use the hand of their mouth, all right, for good. All right, that's the power of the tongue, you know. And it says, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You see, so if you're wise, you know, you will be using your mouth, all right, which is being spiritually applied in this specific verse, all right, because you have power with your hands. You see, so the mouth is used, or salat, the tongue, in this specific verse, all right, would be spiritually applied as the hand. You see, so the power of the tongue, all right, it should be used to speak life, all right. Again, what they would call in the world, you know, verbal judo, you know, or speaking with wisdom, you know. So I'm gonna get one more. So it will be imperative, and it will behoove us, you know, to learn how to use our hands, all right, in the hands of our mouth, you know. This is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 14 or verse 17, and it says, I'll start from verse 10. It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Wiles goes into trickery, and it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." All right, because ultimately, you know, you have those that's working on the left-hand side in cahoots with Esau. Hey, they constantly throwing up enchantments and stuff like that, you know, so this is a spiritual warfare. It says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand, ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth," all right, with the scriptures, "and having on the breastplate of righteousness." All right, and what's righteousness? You know, pretty much going into, I'm going to get that real fast, the definition of this word. And it says, condition of being acceptable to the Most High, integrity. All right, so what's being acceptable? All right, having the belief and having the works. That's what will make a man righteous, having the belief on Yahweh Shai, all right, because it's going to push forth those works. All right, and that's what will make a man righteous, you know. And it says, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. You see, in the shield of faith, you see, because faith that's going to keep you in the fear. You see, so if you had a fear, you're going to have that strong confidence, you know, because the scriptures say, the angel of the Lord encampeth around about them that fear him. Roughly paraphrase. I'm going to get that real fast. This is Tahoyim, Psalms 34 and 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth around about them that fear him and delivereth them. So you can't please the Lord, you see, if you don't have the faith, you know. So if you don't have the faith, you couldn't fear the Lord, you know. So those that fear the Lord, well, they ultimately have the faith. You see, going back to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 16, you know, those that have the faith, they're going to be protected because they're going to be fearing the Lord. Verse 17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. You see, so that shows that, you know, the word, it has power, you know, because you wield a sword in your hand. You know, the sword of the Spirit is the scriptures, you know, which the scriptures go into, you know, because he speak this word. I'm gonna get that real fast. This is This is Jeremiah chapter 5, and we'll get verse 14, and it says, Wherefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, Lord power of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. Hey, that's power. You see, again, going back to Ephesians chapter 6, in verse 17, it says, And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. Hey, so we just got Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 21, so with that understanding, all right, using those words in life, all right, what's true life, all right, will be these scriptures. I'm gonna get that real fast. This is John chapter 6, and we'll get verse 63. And it says, It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You see, so if you're using the words and wisdom, all right, speaking life, all right, well, ultimately, again, because I made the point in the spirit that, we had to learn how to use our the hands of our mouth, because going back to the word yad in Proverbs 18 and 21, you see, because ultimately, if we use them correctly, we'll be speaking life, and we will reap the benefits of that particular fruit, you see, which would ultimately bring us forth to the kingdom, you see, if we endure to the end, you see. So I just want to go into that. I don't want to Zaza by Nayapa, Lord's will, there was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Well, I don't want to Zaza, Lord's will. You all have a good night. Watch Shalom, Lakam, with this